Welcome to Not My Reality. On this episode of Pit My Disease or Toxic Rides. Did you know that air in 99% of the cars contains toxic chemicals linked to cancer? Epidemiological studies have shown that the average U.S. child has lost 3 to 5 IQ points from exposure to just one flame retardant used in cars. And that's just one of the IQ reducing chemicals children are being exposed to. It's almost like they're intentionally trying to dumb down the population. Yeah, but that's just crazy talk, right? As it's a parody. If you don't have a sense of humor, go. Welcome. Is this my reality? Is this your reality? May 12th, 2024. A study reveals that personal vehicle interiors are contaminated with cancer-linked flame retardants due to an outdated flammability standard. These chemicals, they're found in 99% of tested cars. 99%? Shouldn't they just say all pretty much? And these pose significant health risks, especially in warm conditions where it increases their concentration. The interior of virtually all modern cars, they release toxic chemicals. It's called off-gassing, and it's particularly acute in hot weather. I don't think there's anything cute at all about that. Look, you can smell it when you get into your vehicle. Next time, either let it air out or at least hop in, take a deep breath, and say, chemicals. The air inside all personal vehicles, it's polluted with harmful flame retardants, including those known or suspected to cause cancer. And this is according to a new peer-reviewed study published May 7th of this year in Environmental Science and Technology. Car manufacturers, they have to add these chemicals to seat and foam and other materials to meet an outdated federal flammability standard with no proven fire safety benefit. One more time, no proven fire safety benefit. Do we get that? Another federal regulation that not only has no benefit to us, but it's actually killing us slowly. That's what they do. Support this channel. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that notification bell. We're going to keep exposing all these things. Matter of fact, leave something in the comments about what you want exposed. Quote, our research found that interior materials release harmful chemicals into the cabin air of our cars, said lead author Rebecca Hohen, a scientist at Duke University. Quote, considering the average driver spends about an hour in their car every day, this is a significant public health issue. It's particularly concerning for drivers with long commutes, as well as, listen closely, child passengers who breathe more air pound for pound than adults. About half the cars were tested in both summer and winter. Warmer weather was linked to higher flame retardant concentrations because of off-gassing from the interior components, like seat foam is increased by higher temperature. In vehicle interiors, they can reach up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. The researchers also analyzed samples of seat foam from 51 of the cars in the studies. Vehicles that contain the suspected carcinogen TCIPP in their foam tended to have higher concentration of TCIPP in their air, confirming foam as a source of this flame retardant in the cabin air. I mean, do we really need all those tests? You can smell it in your vehicle. It's not a bouquet of flowers you're smelling. Now, flame retardants, they're added to seat foam to meet the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 302. Wow. An open flame flammability standard that was first introduced in the 70s and remains unchanged because we know how the 70s, we're still doing that stuff now. Quote, firefighters are concerned that flame retardants contribute to their very high cancer rates, said Patrick Morrison, who oversees health and safety for 350,000 United States and Canadian firefighters at the International Association of Firefighters. He says, quote, filling products with these harmful chemicals does little to prevent fires for most uses. and instead makes the blazes smokier and more toxic for the victims. Smokier, more toxic. Come on. And especially for the first responders, because that's their message. Don't help. He said, I urge NHTSA to update their flammability standard to be met without flame retardant chemicals inside vehicles. Now, epidemiological studies have shown that the average U.S. child has lost 3 to 5 IQ points from the exposure to one flame retardant used in cars. Add that to the damage they receive from mass vaccinations, fluoride, soy, GMOs, and many other IQ reducers. And we wonder why we're having problems in today's world. Oh, and don't mention the fact that they were locked down and forced to live in fear for 2+ friggin' years. Further, a recent research paper estimated that those with the highest levels of this flame retardant in their blood had about 4 times the risk of dying from cancer compared with people with the lowest levels. What do you got? We all got to ride bikes now? I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. You promise not to tell anybody. Look, for decades now, they've been finding ways to insert cancer-causing agents into a multitude of things, like the S40 simian gene in the polio vaccine. Why do they do this? Population control. Like Frank's Red Hot, they like to put that on everything. Quote, you might be able to reduce your exposure to the flame retardants in your car by opening the windows and parking in the shade, said co-author Lydia Jal, a senior scientist at the Green Science Policy Institute. Yeah, and definitely let your vehicle air out a little bit. You know, like a gas station restroom. Quote, but what's really needed is reducing the amount of flame retardants being added to the cars in the first place. Commuting to work shouldn't come with a cancer risk. Got that right. And children shouldn't breathe in chemicals that can harm their brains on their way to school. No, they shouldn't, and it shouldn't. But this reality is not built this way. There's an agenda. It's a very dark agenda. There's just too many of us, and they don't like that. And they don't like the fact that some of us are actually waking up to their... If they just came out and say ended 1 billion of lives, it would cause a big hullabaloo. People would probably be up in arms about that. But through wars, poverty, creating the disease, and the alleged cure at the same time, more wars, genetically modified foods, fluoride, geoengineering, EMF frequencies, air fresheners, cell phone towers, microwaves, I can go on and on and on. Things in our everyday lives that we were told they're perfectly safe for us. Nothing to see here. That are killing us slowly every day. And lately, not so slowly. Am I saying this is intentional? That this is a covert population control? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you think? What do you think this is? What are they just making this many mistakes? They just don't know? Please leave a comment down below. Let's get the fuck out of here. I got George Romero's Night of the Living Dead on Betamax. Everybody want to check it out?